Awesome. So I'm gonna put 7 minutes on the clock, but it won't take 7 minutes, so you don't have to worry about that. Let's get started. So, energy review, right? The very main thing you need to know about energy is that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred. Okay? That's the first law of thermodynamics. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred. Okay? There's two main types of energy we're talking about: kinetic energy and potential energy. And if you see right here, there's like a pink bubble in the center. They're both measured in units called joules. Okay? Units called joules. Not joules as in jewelry, but joules as in Joules. Remember, all forms of energy are measured in joules. Okay? Joules. Now, let's start off with kinetic energy on the left side. Kinetic energy is anything that moves or anything that releases energy. So if you're releasing energy, you are showing kinetic energy. So when you're releasing energy into the world, into the environment, into your surroundings, that is kinetic energy. Okay? Anything that moves. Now, since it's moving, it's based on speed. That means the quicker, the faster you move, the more kinetic energy you have. So the quicker you move, the more kinetic energy you have. If I'm running next to a cheetah that's also running, we both have kinetic energy, but the cheetah, since the cheetah is running faster, they have a higher kinetic energy than myself. I have a lower kinetic energy because I'm not as fast. And we have an equation. The equation for kinetic energy is 1/2 times mass times velocity squared, which we'll go over more into detail tomorrow. But I just want to let you know this is the equation. Okay. As you finish with that, I'm going to move on to potential energy on the right side. And potential energy is anything that is in rest. So anything that stores energy. So if you're storing energy, that means you're not moving, you're building up energy to potentially release it. That's what potential is, to potentially release the energy. So if you're not moving, you're at rest, you're building up energy to hopefully release it into the world later on. Potential energy is based on height, based on height. That means the higher you are from the ground, the more potential energy you have built up. So if I am sitting down, laying on the floor, as opposed to me laying on the top of the mountain, I'm going to have more potential energy on top of the mountain than on the floor. We both have potential energy because we're both not moving, but me on the mountain, I have a higher elevation, so I'm building more energy. I'm building more energy. It's kind of like when you're in a roller coaster, when you're at the top of a roller coaster, you're at the top, you feel like all that energy being built up because you're about to fall down and release all that energy. And the equation for potential energy is right here: mass times gravity times height, m times g times h, which, like I said, we'll go more into detail tomorrow as well. But I just want to let you know. Here you can see the definitions of the variables and the units in parentheses as well, in case you forgot what they stood for. We got two more things. On the bottom, the second to last box on the left, the amount of energy transfer when doing something, this is known as work. So if you're doing something, you're working. And you know you're working because you're sweating, you're using your muscles, you're breathing heavily. That's work. If you're doing something where it requires you to transfer energy and use energy, you're working. Okay? And since work is a form of energy, the units for work is also joules, Joules. Okay. So work is when you're doing something. If you're walking, if you're cooking, if you're swimming, you're working because you're using energy. Now, how fast the energy was transferred, how fast you were working, that's known as power. That's known as those 10 push-ups, that means I don't have that much power, right? So that means, oh, oh, I think the audio went off. Are we good now? Okay, thank you. Basically, what I was trying to say is power is just basically if it's me against a power lifter to do 10 push-ups, the power lifter is going to have more power, so they're going to do the 10 push-ups faster than I would. So work is when you do something, power is how fast do you do that something. How fast can you run that one lap? How fast can you, do those 10 push-ups? That's power. And it's measured in watts. Okay? It's measured in watts. Okay? So the units for power is watts. Okay? So a quick recap, Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred. There's two forms of energy we're going to be focusing on. It's potential and kinetic. They're both measured in joules. Kinetic energy is anything that moves or releases energy and is based on speed. And potential energy is anything that is at rest, not moving, and it stores energy and is based on height. Work is when you do something, and power is how fast do you do that work? How quickly are you doing that work? Work is measured in joules, and power is measured in watts. Okay? Let's go to slide 11. Okay? Now, this is the last thing we're doing. We have about 17 more minutes, so it's not going to take us that long, but I'm going to give us 10 minutes. This is the last we're doing. So I want to make sure that we can access all of these websites for this quarter. We're going to access everything through Clever. Since Clever saves all your information, your login and your password, I want to make sure we can do that so we don't have to worry about forgetting your passwords, using your logins, all that stuff that takes a long time. That way your login can be automatically saved, okay? So the instructions is that I want you to go to Clever and search for these apps. Gizmos, Quizzes, Khan Academy, Edpuzzle, and Newsella. These are the 5 main ones we'll be using throughout the quarter, and I want to make sure you can access them, okay? A quick way to do that, if you go to Clever, go to Mr. Castillo's teacher page. I have all the apps at the top of the page. So once if you go to my teacher page, which is the Longhorn one, all the necessary programs are here. So Khan Academy, Edpuzzle, Quizzes, Gizmos, and Newsella. So you go to your homeroom, and then you can go to your teacher's page. I'm the one with the Longhorn, the Texas Longhorn, and make sure you just access them. So all I want you to do is just make sure you can log in. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to put a code. You don't have to look at an assignment. No, I just want to make sure you can log in. Once you do that, then you're good to go do the other ones. Put yes or no on this table. If you put no on one of them, please message me on the chat box, or if you're watching this at home afterwards, at least email me so I can help you figure it out. Okay, so let's spend the next 10 minutes doing that. If you have any questions, please message me. Okay, let's spend 10 minutes and doing that. Okay, awesome. Thank you everyone for being able to do that. Once again, if you're having trouble with it, accessing something, please send me an email, or when I see you tomorrow or whenever, just let me know and I can help you. But make sure you're able to access these through Clever, okay? Because we'll be using these a little bit more heavier during this quarter. Okay, I guess more different varieties, so I'm going to give you guys for. Okay, that's pretty much it. Thank you for joining us. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Let me know if you guys have any questions afterwards. If you're having trouble